Welcome back, Royals watchers. Today, we dive into the 5 scandals that nearly derailed King Charles's path to the throne. Scandals that shook the monarchy and redefined what it means to be royal. 1. In the early 1990s, the British monarchy was already under immense pressure. The world watched as Prince Charles and Princess Diana's marriage unravelled in the public eye, with headlines about their separation dominating newspapers and television screens. The royal family, once seen as the epitome of stability, was suddenly facing questions about its future and relevance. But just as the dust began to settle, an even more explosive scandal erupted, one that would shake the monarchy to its core. Camillagate. In a shocking breach of privacy, a deeply personal and intimate phone call between Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles was secretly recorded and leaked to the press. The contents of the call, filled with affectionate and sometimes awkward exchanges, left no doubt about the depth of their relationship. The world listened in disbelief as the private lives of the future king and his lover were exposed in excruciating detail, fueling a media frenzy and public outrage. The infamous tampon remark in particular became a global punchline, repeated endlessly in tabloids and late-night talk shows. It shattered the carefully crafted mystique surrounding Prince Charles, turning him from a dignified royal into the subject of ridicule and embarrassment. The royal family, already struggling to maintain its image, was thrust into an unprecedented crisis. Public trust in the monarchy plummeted almost overnight. For many, Charles was no longer the stoic and reserved heir to the throne, but a flawed and vulnerable man, caught in the centre of a messy, very public scandal. The nation's faith in its future king was shaken, and the royal family's reputation suffered a blow from which it would take years to recover. The leaked tapes confirmed long-held suspicions about the true state of Charles and Diana's marriage. They also cast serious doubt on Charles's suitability as the future king, with magazines and commentators openly questioning whether he could ever regain the public's trust or fulfill his royal duties with dignity. Camillagate marked a dramatic turning point for the British monarchy. It forced the royal family into a new era of relentless media scrutiny and public vulnerability, forever changing the way the world viewed the House of Windsor. In 1994, Prince Charles made a bold attempt to reclaim his public image. In a highly anticipated televised interview with Jonathan Dimbleby, he admitted to what many had long suspected. He had been unfaithful to Princess Diana during their marriage. This confession was meant to show honesty and vulnerability, perhaps even to win back some public sympathy after years of rumours and speculation swirling around the royal couple. Charles appeared sombre and reflective, hoping to explain his side of the story and present himself as a flawed but relatable human being. But instead of the understanding he may have hoped for, Charles was met with a tidal wave of outrage. The British press and public saw his admission as self-serving, a desperate attempt to salvage his reputation rather than a genuine act of contrition. Crowds gathered, some holding signs in support of Diana, while others expressed their anger at Charles's perceived betrayal. The media coverage was relentless, and public opinion quickly shifted even further in Diana's favour, painting her as the wronged princess and Charles as the villain in their royal drama. Diana, never one to shy away from the truth, soon gave her own explosive interview. In it she delivered the now iconic line, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." Her words resonated deeply with the public, capturing the pain and isolation she felt within the royal family. Diana's emotional honesty only increased the public's sympathy for her, and her candidness became a defining moment in the unravelling of the royal marriage. The War of the Waleses, as it came to be known, became a full-blown public spectacle. Every argument, every rumour, every tear was dissected by the press and consumed by a fascinated global audience. The dysfunction at the heart of the royal marriage was laid bare for all to see, shattering the carefully crafted image of a perfect royal family. The fairy tale was over. The once glittering image of the monarchy was now in tatters, replaced by headlines of scandal and heartbreak. The public's faith in the royal family was shaken, and the sense of loss was palpable, not just for Diana and Charles, but for the entire nation. For Charles, the path to the crown suddenly seemed more uncertain than ever before. His reputation was damaged, his popularity at an all-time low, and his future as king was now clouded by doubt and controversy. He appeared isolated, often seen alone at public events, a stark contrast to the once celebrated prince. The royal family's private pain had become a global drama, broadcast into living rooms around the world. The collapse of Charles and Diana's marriage was no longer just a personal tragedy. It was a turning point for the monarchy, one that would have lasting repercussions for years to come. Years after earlier controversies, Prince Charles's reputation faced perhaps its most significant test yet, the infamous Black Spider memos. These documents would come to define a new chapter in his public life, casting a long shadow over his future as king. Over the course of many years, Charles penned dozens of letters to government ministers, each one written in his unmistakable spidery handwriting. These weren't just casual notes. They were passionate, detailed arguments on issues ranging from architecture and the environment to agriculture and even herbal medicine. The prince's deep personal interests were laid bare, showing a man who cared deeply about the direction of his country. After a decade-long legal battle, the memos were finally released to the public. Their contents confirmed what many had long suspected. Charles was not content to remain a silent figurehead. Instead, he actively lobbied politicians, sometimes pushing for changes that aligned with his own beliefs. This broke with the long-standing royal tradition of political neutrality, sparking a fierce national debate. To his supporters, Charles emerged as a passionate advocate, unafraid to speak up for causes he believed in. They saw a future king who cared about the nation's well-being. But to his critics, he was a meddling prince, overstepping the constitutional boundaries that defined the monarchy's role in British society. The controversies surrounding the Black Spider memos raised profound questions about the future of the monarchy. Would Charles, once crowned king, respect the boundaries that have kept the royal family above politics for generations? Or would he continue to blur the lines between sovereign and statesman? The memos didn't just cause embarrassment for the royal family. They struck at the very heart of the crown's impartiality. For many, this was more than a scandal. It was a challenge to the unwritten rules that have governed the monarchy for centuries. With the world watching, the future king's judgment and ability to remain neutral were placed under the microscope, leaving the nation to wonder what kind of monarch Charles would ultimately become. Charles's advocacy for alternative medicine led to another scandal. He championed homeopathy and founded the Prince's Foundation for Integrated Health, pushing for unproven therapies in the NHS. Critics accused him of promoting pseudoscience and endangering public trust. The foundation collapsed amid fraud and money laundering allegations. Though Charles wasn't personally implicated, the damage was done. The scandal highlighted his willingness to use royal influence for personal beliefs, even against expert consensus. His judgment was questioned. Could a man so at odds with science be trusted as king? Another blow to his reputation and more royal baggage for the future monarch. 1994, Sydney. During a royal tour, Charles faced a terrifying moment. A protester fired blank shots at him on stage. The prince's calm response, barely flinching, was widely praised. But the incident was more than a security scare. It symbolized growing Republican sentiment and the monarchy's fragile appeal abroad. Charles had become a lightning rod for protest, a symbol of a fading institution. The world was changing, and the prince was caught in the crossfire. His composure impressed, but the event underscored the dangers and divisions he faced. The monarchy's future looked increasingly uncertain. Charles's journey to the crown was anything but safe. King Charles III sits on the throne today, but his journey was marked by scandal, scrutiny and survival. Affairs, leaked tapes, political meddling and public failures shaped the monarch he's become. Decades of controversy forged resilience and left scars. Now the world watches to see if he can rise above his past. Has the royal PR machine erased the baggage, or do these scandals still matter? Let us know your thoughts below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more royal revelations.